Today we're delving into an interesting topic: old car features that were once innovative but are now considered outdated or simply unwanted. From unusual designs to impractical gadgets, join us as we take a trip down memory lane through some fascinating car features that don't exist anymore. We're covering automatic dimming headlights from the 50s to 80s, digital dashboards, headlight wiper blades, trip meters from the 80s, four-wheel drive activated by wiper blades, and cars that could transform between a wagon and a sports car. Let's get started. Number 1. Automatic dimming headlights, 1950s to 1980s. Automatic dimming headlights, also known as auto dimmers or Autronic eye, were a marvel of innovation when they first appeared in the early 1950s. Introduced by General Motors, this feature aimed to enhance nighttime driving safety by automatically switching between high and low beams based on the presence of oncoming traffic. The system used a photoelectric cell mounted on the dashboard or front grille. This cell detected the headlights of approaching vehicles and sent a signal to a relay, which dimmed the high beams. Despite its groundbreaking nature, the technology was far from perfect. It often struggled with false positives, such as reflections from road signs, causing headlights to dim unnecessarily. By the 1980s, the technology had evolved, but never quite overcame its initial quirks, leading to its gradual disappearance. However, the spirit of innovation lived on, paving the way for modern adaptive lighting systems that we see in today's vehicles. Number 2. Digital dashboards, 1980s. Digital dashboards were a symbol of the futuristic 1980s, promising a high-tech driving experience that seemed straight out of a sci-fi movie. These dashboards replaced traditional analog gauges with digital readouts and graphics, offering drivers a new way to interact with their vehicles. Early adopters like the 1981 Cadillac Seville and the 1983 Nissan 300ZX featured flashy digital displays. These dashboards were not only a statement of luxury, but also a way to provide more information to the driver. However, the technology was not without its flaws. Early digital dashboards were often plagued by reliability issues, with displays that could be hard to read in direct sunlight or prone to malfunction. What was once seen as a gimmick has now become ubiquitous. Modern cars often feature digital displays that provide a wealth of information, from speed and fuel levels to navigation and media controls, all seamlessly integrated and highly reliable. Number 3. Headlight wiper blades. Headlight wiper blades were another innovative yet short-lived feature, introduced in the late 1960s and popularized in the 1970s and 80s. These tiny wipers were designed to keep headlights clear of rain, snow, and dirt, ensuring maximum visibility. While the idea was sound, improving night driving safety by maintaining clear headlights, the execution was complex. These systems added additional moving parts that required maintenance and were prone to failure. Moreover, with advancements in headlight technology, such as sealed beam headlights and high-pressure washer systems, headlight wipers became less necessary. By the 1990s, headlight wiper blades had largely disappeared, yet they remain a fond memory for car enthusiasts who appreciate the lengths to which manufacturers went to ensure driver safety and convenience. Number 4. Trip meters, 1980s. The 1980s saw the rise of trip meters, a simple yet incredibly useful feature that allowed drivers to track the distance traveled on a trip independently of the car's odometer. This was particularly useful for long-distance travelers and for keeping track of fuel consumption. Early trip meters were mechanical, involving a secondary set of numbers that could be reset with a push button. They offered drivers a convenient way to measure distances for specific journeys, aiding in navigation and fuel management. Today, trip meters have evolved into digital trip computers that provide a range of information, including average speed, fuel economy, and distance to empty. What started as a basic feature has now become an integral part of the driving experience, integrated seamlessly into the digital dashboards of modern vehicles. Number 5. Four-wheel drive activated by wiper blades. This feature might sound like a joke, but it's true. Some vehicles in the 1980s experimented with innovative ways to engage four-wheel drive. One of the quirkiest methods involved activating the four-wheel drive system when the windshield wipers were turned on. The idea was that when conditions necessitated the use of wipers, such as rain or snow, extra traction from four-wheel drive would be beneficial. This feature aimed to provide automatic safety enhancement without driver intervention. While clever in theory, the practicality was questionable. Drivers might want four-wheel drive in dry off-road conditions where wipers were unnecessary, or conversely, might use wipers for light rain where four-wheel drive was overkill. This feature was short-lived, but it highlighted the creativity of automotive engineers in seeking innovative solutions to enhance safety. Number 6. Transformable cars, wagon to sports car. One of the most intriguing concepts in automotive history is the idea of a car that could transform from a practical wagon to a sporty coupe. This concept aimed to provide versatility, allowing a single vehicle to serve multiple purposes. The 1980s gave rise to several prototypes and limited production models that attempted this feat. One notable example is the Nissan EXA or Pulsar NX, which featured interchangeable rear modules that could transform the car's appearance and functionality. Another was the Matra Murena, a French sports car that offered modularity in seating and cargo configurations. While these transformable cars were innovative, they faced several challenges. The complexity of designing a vehicle that could effectively serve as both a wagon and a sports car often led to compromises in performance and practicality. Additionally, the market for such vehicles was niche, leading to limited commercial success. Number 7. Retractable hardtops. Retractable hardtops, which first appeared in the 1950s, offer the comfort and security of a coupe with the open-air experience of a convertible. These systems were complex and expensive, but paved the way for modern hardtop convertibles. Number 8. Pop-up headlights. Pop-up headlights were a popular feature from the 1960s to the early 2000s. They provided a sleek, aerodynamic look when closed and improved lighting when open. However, safety regulations and maintenance issues eventually led to their decline. Number 9. Car phones. Before mobile phones became ubiquitous, car phones were a luxury feature in high-end vehicles during the 1980s and early 90s. They offered the convenience of making calls on the go, but were bulky and expensive to use. Number 10. T-tops. T-tops or T-bar roofs were popular in sports cars during the 1970s and 80s. These removable roof panels offered a semi-convertible experience, providing an open-air feel without sacrificing the structural integrity of a hardtop. Number 11. Push-button transmission. Push-button transmissions were an innovative feature in the 1950s and 60s, allowing drivers to change gears by pressing buttons on the dashboard. While novel, they were eventually phased out in favor of more traditional gear selectors. Number 12. Swivel seats. Introduced in the 1970s, swivel seats made it easier for drivers and passengers to get in and out of cars. They could rotate towards the door, offering improved accessibility, especially in tight parking spaces. Number 13. Vent windows. Vent windows or wing windows were small triangular windows in the front doors of cars that could be opened for ventilation. Popular in the 1980s, they allowed fresh air without the need to open the main windows. Number 14. Foot-operated high beams. Before steering column mounted controls became standard, high beams were often activated by a foot-operated switch on the floor of the car. This feature was common until the 1970s. Number 15. Cigarette lighters and ashtrays. Once standard in all vehicles, cigarette lighters and ashtrays cater to the smoking habits of drivers. As smoking in cars has declined, these features have become rare in modern vehicles. Number 16. Fender Skirts. Fender Skirts or Fender covers were popular in the 1940s and 50s. These panels covered the rear wheel wells, giving cars a streamlined look, but complicating tire changes and maintenance. Number 17. In-car record players. In the 1950s and 60s, some luxury cars were equipped with in-car record players, allowing drivers to play vinyl records on the go. This feature was short-lived due to the impracticality of using records in a moving vehicle. Number 18. Opera windows. Opera windows were small, decorative windows located on the C-pillars of cars, popular in the 1970s. They added a touch of elegance and luxury, but had no functional purpose. Number 19. Automatic climate control. While common today, early versions of automatic climate control in the 1970s and 80s were a luxury feature that allowed drivers to set a desired temperature, which the system would maintain automatically. Number 20. Headlight washers. Headlight washers were introduced in luxury cars to keep headlights clean and improve visibility. These small jets of water or wiper blades were particularly useful in harsh weather conditions, but are less common in modern vehicles. And there you have it, folks, 20 unusual old car features that no one wants anymore. While these features may have been innovative in their time, they have since been overshadowed by more modern and practical alternatives. Which of these old car features do you remember fondly, and which are you glad to see consigned to the annals of automotive history? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.